Namaste. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for being here this morning. Sit tall, close your eyes, bring your palms to your lap. And if you need any support behind you, like a wall, a piece of furniture, a bed, or anything to feel tall and steady, please do so. And if you feel comfortable starting to soften the forehead down to your temples and cheeks, do so, bringing the eyelids down slowly and softly, lifting the front of the spine, relaxing the shoulders, and inviting the shoulder blades to move down your back towards the end of your spine. So this week I am sharing and we are reflecting on this sutra that is part of a group that is called the Kleshas, and it means roadblocks, or I'm going to say, yes, roadblocks, it's a good word. So this piece of the philosophy that I'm sharing this week is about being a little bit stuck into a past traumatic memory or experience. And we call it raga, and usually is connected to emotional attachment to some experience that perhaps we had when we were kids, during childhood, or perhaps something in the process or journey of our lives that got stuck with us. And we all have those memories that are traumatic or experiences, but the philosophy says that it gets a little bit problematic when we can't move on because this situation keeps coming back. And perhaps it holds us back from the opportunity to release it, to soften that hook or that grip and move on to the new, or be able to be empty enough to receive what's new. So for today, connected to this piece of the philosophy, I have a poem that I want to share that I found. So the poem says this: I was the type of person that held onto things too tight, unable to release my grip when it no longer felt right. And although it gave me blisters and my fingers would all ache, I always thought that holding on was worth the pain it takes. I used to think in losing things, I would lose part of me too. That slowly I'd become someone my heart no longer knew. Then one day something happened. I dropped what I had once held dear, but my soul became much lighter instead of filled with fear. And it taught my heart that some things aren't meant to last for long. They arrive to teach you lessons and then continue on. You don't have to cling to people who no longer make you smile, or do something you've come to hate if it isn't worth your while. That sometimes the thing you're fighting for isn't worth the cost, and not everything you ever lose is bound to be a loss. As you let the next few cycles of your breath empty your body of the old, release what's not needed, give yourself that opportunity to empty your cup so you receive new energy, new power into your system, into your life. Bringing our palms together to the heart center, we give ourselves a moment to set the intention for your practice. And in gratitude, we'll open with the Om sound. Inhaling deeply through the nose. Big exhale. Then breathing in again. Then we connect the head down to the hands and the heart. Releasing the palms when you feel ready, opening the eyes as you lift the head. Thank you again, everyone, for being here. Welcome. You may hear some nature around. This is my backyard, so I'm testing a new thing. And I wanted to tell you that today, many of you know, but this is more of a flow class and it's a little stronger. So this is the best opportunity for you to take care of yourself, listen to your body, and whenever you need to rest or take a child's pose in between, if I don't say it, you don't need to wait for me for that to happen. Okay, so we are going to start on our mats, and today we are going to use blocks. So as I come to the mat, I'm coming to the mat, I'm going to have a block with me. We're going to start by coming onto our backs for a moment with your knees bent. Release your trunk, release your arms just for a moment to feel the body where you are, releasing the shoulders. Take a deep breath in. And release. And then one more. Good. And then from here, everybody can see me, right? Yes. Okay, from here what I'm going to do is to put my block in between my thighs. You can put it like this, flat, in between, so it's a little lower than my knees. And what I'm going to do here is to just hold my block there with my inner thighs. We are going to activate our adductors, the part of the muscles that helps with holding in, right? And doing some postures that we'll try later. So from here, I'm going to extend my arms. I'm pressing through my feet. It's almost like coming to the bridge pose, but we are not going to really do the posture. I want you to lift your pelvic floor up towards your navel, ribs down towards your hips, and the hips in towards one another. And then with my palms pressing down, I'm going to lift my glutes, so I'm going to activate my glutes into my body, but I'm not lifting super high, that's why it's not the bridge pose. And what I'm going to do here is really work on those glutes, squeezing in, same thing that I'm doing with the inner legs into the block. Now, I don't want the ribs to pop out, so bring those ribs down towards your hips. Like I said, hips in, pubic bone lifting, and then from there, extend your arms up and turn your right palm up to the ceiling, and with your left hand, you're going to push it down so you stretch that right wrist. While we do that, we are going to do 10 pumps with your glutes, but I'm going to try and keep all of this part connected, okay? So I'm doing 1, 2, 3 with my glutes, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then I'm going to switch my hand so I can press into the left palm and push the left wrist up. And instead of working with my glutes, I'm going to activate the glutes and keep them where they are. And I'm going to lift my heels for 10. 1, 2, 3, 4. Keep the ribs moving down. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. Then release the arms. Slowly release the glutes down. Starting to create some heat in the body. Move that block out to the side. And now we are going to bring our arms up. And I'm going to press my palms like if you want to press your ceiling or the skies if you're outside. And I'm going to bring both my knees towards my armpits. Okay? And what I'm going to do here is to try and keep my knees in as much as possible. And I'm going to inhale, press my shoulders down. It's a little bit like the cow pose, opening the chest. And with the exhale, I'm going to push and bring my shoulders off the mat. And again, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. 2 more. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Now we are going to add a little more. Inhaling and opening. Exhaling and lifting through my head also and my upper back. Again, inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. 2 more. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale, stay there for a moment. Good, keep those arms up, pressing through the palms. And now we're going to extend the legs into a diagonal. And from here, I'm going to inhale, exhale, bring the knees in. And again, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. If you need to take the head down, take it down. Exhale, so you can be here. Inhale, exhale. 3 more. Inhale, exhale. Last one. Good, then hug the knees into the chest and set your head down. Roll from side to side, just a moment. There. And then we're going to extend the arms and the legs away from each other. Lace your fingers, press your palms away from your head. Feel the stretch on the sides, opening the chest. Good, and then we're going to bend the knees again and put one shin in front of the other and rock forward and back and forward and back. One more. And then we're going to try and put our hands down and from there move into hands and knees. Good job. Okay, from here, from hands and knees, instead of doing the usual cat-cow that we do, what I want us to do is cat-cow only with your shoulder blades. So we are going to tone the abdomen in, firm the pelvis and the hips so they are not moving from side to side. And I'm going to just inhale, push the mat away. With the exhale, I'm going to let my shoulder blades drop into one another. And then again, push the mat away, widening, and then let them come towards each other. Again, push and release. Push, widening the upper back, and release. 3 more. Hold the abdomen up, hold the hips into one another. Last one. Good. We return to that tabletop. Hold that core up, firm the hips in. Move your knees a few inches behind your hips. Tuck your toes, make them wide as your mat. Spin your fingertips out just a little bit, dialing the hands a touch out. And then from there, we push into our first downward facing dog, sending the sacrum up, drawing the abdomen in, pressing through the palms, releasing the crown of the head. Okay? Then from there, slowly bend one knee at a time. Give yourself a moment to shift the hips if you need, from side to side. Relax the neck and the head. And then slowly start to activate your kneecaps and your quads a little bit more to send the legs towards the back or towards, yes, the back of your room, and the heels towards the end of your mat. Once you get there, draw the pelvic floor up, breathe down, sorry. And then from there, release the head again. Stay there in the down dog for one more breath. Good, and then from there, slowly, let's walk the feet. Small steps, just walk them so we activate that core a little more. And you come all the way to the top of your mat. From there, bend the knees, drop the torso, take a deep breath in, relaxing the neck, and dropping the brain down to earth. Good, then put your hands onto your hips, roll the shoulders back, lengthen through the front spine, and we press up to standing. Here we are. Good. Let's go, inhaling, arms up overhead. We exhale and we fold into Uttanasana. Inhaling, lengthening halfway, heart forward, belly up. Exhale, fold. Inhaling, we come all the way up. Exhaling into center, and we release. Good. If your feet are super wide apart, just bring them inner hip distance apart. We go from here again, inhaling, arms up overhead. This time catch your right wrist, pull that side, and we tilt towards the left. Press evenly through the outer edges of your feet. Lift the heart, send it up to the right. Then we come back to center, switch sides, right hand holding left wrist, extend, and we come towards the other side. Evenly pressing into the feet, lift your inner arches, glutes forward. We inhale, we come back up. Exhale and release. Good, let's go from here again. Inhaling, arms overhead. Exhaling, folding. Halfway, draw the heart up. Exhale, plant your hands, walk back to plank. First one, we are going to use our knees. So bring the knees down, then the chest and the chin. Slowly sliding onto your mat. You know me, maybe, and you know that I usually like the first one, cobra, with the fingertips right off your mat. Roll the shoulders back, send the shoulder blades down, draw the spine up. Exhale. Hands under the shoulders, touch your toes. Up we go, downward facing dog. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Good, gaze forward in between your hands, and again, short steps to come all the way to the top of your mat. Hug that core in. Good, inhaling, we come back. Exhale, release. Beautiful. From here, inhaling, Utkatasana. We sit a little low, lift through the spine, open up through the chest. Take a deep breath in here. Draw the sacrum down, ribs down, belly up. And then bring the arms behind you, lace the fingers. Roll the shoulders back and down. Good. Sit a little lower if you can. Keep lifting the sternum up. Good. Inhaling, arms up. Exhaling, we fold. Inhaling, lengthen. Exhaling, plank pose. One inhalation in plank. Draw the shoulder blades behind your chest. Exhale, lower. Inhaling, cobra. Exhale. Downward facing dog. And we go up again. Big breath in. Big breath out. Good. Let's walk again our feet towards the top of the mat. This time we are going to put the feet a touch wider than your hips, just a little bit. And keep your left hand under the line of your nose. If you need a block, you can put a block so you have extra height. I'm going to keep it just to show you. And from here, I'm going to inhale, lengthen the spine, draw the belly up, and twist to the right. And I'm going to bend my left knee a little, so it gives me a little bit of space so I can twist a little bit more. Deep inhale here, shoulders back. One more breath. Good. Exhale, release, switch the sides, right hand on your block or the floor. And now from there, lengthen through the core and lift the spine. We go to the left, bend the right knee. Give yourself a chance to open the chest there, shoulders back. Then slowly release. Inhaling halfway. Exhale, back to plank. Inhaling in plank pose. Exhaling, we lower. Cobra pose, one more time. Exhaling, downward facing dog. Big breath in. Big breath out. Okay, here we go. Let's inhale, right leg up and back. Firm the hips in, draw the pubic bone up, push the mat away. Bend the right knee, come to plank pose, knee to chest. Lift that knee up. Reset, right leg up and back. Right foot comes forward. Keep the left heel off the mat on top of your toes. Firm the hips in. Bring the left fingertips right off your mat. And I'm keeping my fingertips touching, so I'm a little higher. But if you need the block, of course, you put it there. Let's twist to the right. Right hip moves back, lengthening the sides of the trunk, shoulders back, lean back a little. One more breath. Release, right hand down. Firm the inner thighs. Imagine that block that you had in the very beginning in between the legs. So squeeze that block. Press into the big toe mount on your right foot. Lengthen the spine. And we come up to high lunge. Firm the hips. Lengthen to the sides. One more breath. Ready to fly? Let's go from here. You can keep the arms where they are or bring them into the heart. From there, we'll try and come to balancing in warrior 3. Either arms forward, I have the phone, or into the heart. Firm the hips and the right hip back. Lift the inner thighs. Good. Send your arms away from your body. Slowly come up to standing, and I'm going to try and bring that left leg over for the eagle legs, and then sit back. Arms forward, sit a little lower, left arm over the right, eagle arms. One more breath. You can touch down with your toes if you need, like I'm doing. Then slowly release, warrior 3. Back to high lunge. Firm the hips, lengthen through the sides. Last portion, right hand catching the left forearm, pull. Firm the hips again, draw the navel up, tilt to your right. Right hip moves back. Back to center, downward facing dog. Ooh, big breath in. Send that sacrum up to the skies. Good. From here, inhale in plank pose. Lower. Cobra lifting up, or if you want to go a little higher, up dog, sacrum in. Exhale. Downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in. And exhale. Good, here we go, second side. Inhale, left leg up. Firm the hips. Bring the left knee to the chest, plank pose. Push the mat, lift that knee a little higher. We go back up. Left foot forward. Keep the back heel up on top of your toes. Squeeze the hips into one another. Left foot goes back. Right fingertips right off your mat. Rolling the shoulders back. Twist. Shoulder blades into one another, leaning back. Firm that left hip towards the back of your mat. Push the right heel to the end of your mat as well. And then we release. Good. Now imagine you have that block squeezing into the inner thighs. Press into the left big toe mound. Lengthen through the spine. And we come up, high lunge. Firming the left hip towards the back of the mat. Lengthening through the sides. Good. Option here, hands to the heart, or you keep them where they are, depending on stability and space. Keep squeezing the inner legs into one another. Take a leap of faith. We leave the past behind and we move into the future. Mainly being present, letting go of the things we don't need to hold on to. Send the left hip back, lift the right inner thigh. Connect to your breath. Then slowly lift that right leg, bring the right knee up. We cross that right leg over the left, and we take eagle legs, chair pose. Squeeze the legs into one another like having that block. Bring the arms in front. Right arm over the left. Eagle arms. Touch down if you need with the toes. Just releasing the arms. Slowly, we send that right leg back. Slowly, right toes, go back to the beginning, high lunge. Good, last part. Catch with your left hand, your right forearm, pull, squeeze the inner legs, and come towards your left. Lengthen that right side, firm the left hip back to center. Release, downward facing dog. Good, one vinyasa optional here if you want. Take the plank, lower. You can stay in down dog and wait for the rest of us. Downward facing dog. Good, it's the time for a child's pose, yes. Bring your knees down, bring the sitting bones back, release the forehead, and take a full minute here to reset. Just checking, everybody's okay. Super. And then we'll keep going, but take this time to return to your breath, to notice the body. And as we work physically in our yoga practice, we give ourselves the chance to acknowledge, to be with what is, and to peel the layers of the things that are weighing us down and making us suffer. So this whole work in the last few weeks have been mainly so we can move closer and access our true essence, our divine self. The only thing that doesn't change. Give yourself a couple more breaths. Good. Okay. Then from there, from that child's pose, we are going to slowly lift up. And I'm going to come into a squat. So we are going to widen the feet a little wider than the knees, the hips, sorry, bending the knees. We come into the squat, and I'm putting my arms inside, and we are trying to lift through the spine. Good. So today, as you maybe guessed, I did a few postures in the very beginning that were preparatory as what we just did also in the standing for an arm balance that we call the crow pose. So we are going to play a little bit with that, but we are going to work a little bit more before coming into it. And I'm going to suggest that either the squat is a good place to be if you don't want to play with anything else, or if you want to try a little bit and you're a little scared, you can put a bolster or pillows or a blanket in front of you in case you feel like you're gonna fall, okay? This is for the upcoming future in a minute or two. But before we do that, take another breath in your squat. And then you're going to put your hands down. We're going to prepare our legs a little more by lifting. I'm going to bring my legs a little closer. And then I'm going to cross my left leg over the right one. Right? You can see how I cross one leg over the other. I'm going to squeeze my legs into one another. You can bend the knees a little bit if you need. Draw the belly in and relax the torso over the legs. 3 breaths. Let the neck be long, the head heavy. One last breath. Good, and then I'm going to switch, putting the right leg over the left one. I'm going to squeeze my thighs one into the other. Again, you can bend the knees if you need. Don't lock your knees. Just squeeze the thighs like if you had the block like we did in the beginning. Last breath. Good. And then I'm going to return with that right leg to the right. Feet are hip distance apart. Inhale halfway. Exhale, fold. Walk your hands to the front of your mat. Dial your fingertips a little bit out. Walk your feet back, downward facing dog. Good. From here, from down dog, we are going to try and slowly bring both elbows down until you are in your forearms. You can choose to keep your forearms down like they are, like I'm showing, or bring the palms together or lace the fingers if you want. Either or, they sound good, okay? Now, I want you to keep the elbows under the shoulders, push your sitting bones up, walk your feet a little closer, and send your sacrum up to the ceiling as you bring the chest towards your thighs. Neck and head should be heavy, and it's not touching the floor, my head. Let it just dangle there. Push the forearms into the floor, push the elbows down. One more breath. And then slowly walk your feet back, and let's take a forearm plank. Push the mat away, draw the hips into one another, draw the belly up, lengthen through the sternum. Good, and then slowly come all the way down. Good, from here, I'm out of my mat. From here, I'm going to put again my hands down. I separated my palms, and I'm going to roll the shoulders back, lift through the center of the chest, extend through the legs. Shoulders back, sacrum in, draw the navel up. Sphinx pose. One more breath. Good. And then from here, release the trunk. We're going to do a little bit of opening for the shoulders. Bring your right arm like a cactus shape next to you. Press with your left hand under the shoulder. Drop your head down and just like talking up so you can see. And then I'm going to roll over that right shoulder, putting that left foot behind the leg. If that is not possible, keep the leg on top of the opposite leg and stay there for 3 breaths. Good, then slowly returning back to center. Good, now I'm going to change my right hand under the right shoulder. Left arm is in the cactus or goalpost shape. It's a little bit intense. It's for the front of your chest, so go easy if you need. Roll over the left side, maybe the right foot behind, or maybe the leg just on top of the other leg. 3 breaths. Then slowly release, coming back. Beautiful, hands under the shoulders, tucking the toes, and slowly we go back up, downward facing dog. Good, walk your feet again towards the hands. I'm not coming all the way to the top of my mat, but a little bit, I'm going to say a third from the top of the mat. And again, we are going to widen the toes and come into that squat. Releasing here for a moment. Good. Today, I'm going to try and show 2 different versions of this posture that we call the crow. For some people, one of the versions feels easier, and for others, it's the second one. So I'm going to show both, and we're going to play a little bit. And if you feel like it's not for you, you can stay in the squat. And I'm going to also show how you can gradually work on it before you really come into the posture, okay? Remember that you can always put a blanket or something in front of you in case you feel like you are going to fall over, so you have some padding there. I'm going to put my hands in front, and I'm going to place my hands down. My hands are shoulder distance apart. They are a little bit further forward, so not exactly under the shoulders. And then I'm going to bring my feet a little closer. Now remember when we were upside down and we were doing this? So this is more or less what we are going to try and do. So those knees, we're going to try and bring them as high up to the armpits as we can, and that's the first version, okay? Then there is a second version that it's a little different. So for this one, what I'm going to try and do is as I squat a little, I'm trying to hook my knees as high as possible, like what I did when I was lying down. And from there, to gradually work into the posture, first I need to draw my navel in, and you see how I'm rounding in the upper back a little, and I'm going to gaze a little bit in front of my hands. And the gradual work is to slowly lift toes and maybe one foot, draw the belly in, keep gazing forward, and then maybe you take that foot down, you reset the knees as high as you can, and then you go with the other leg. Maybe it's just the toes, maybe it's the whole foot, okay? And then you play with coming back. So that's gradually working into the posture. If you want to go a little further, you put the pillows or stuff in front, and then again, I'm going to try and hook my armpits as high, my knees as high as I can into my armpits, drawing the belly up, gazing forward, pushing the mat away, and then maybe playing with lifting one. If I feel stable, I go into the other one. I'm drawing my belly up, pushing the mat away, and then you come back and you rest for a moment into that squat again. Take a deep breath in, or if you're still trying, please do. And I'll show the second version in a moment. One more breath. Super. Okay. So for some, this second version, like I said, can be a little easier. And it is that instead of bringing your knees as high as your armpits, for some of us that still doesn't happen and it's hard because we need to activate a lot of core, create that rounding and draw the pelvic floor up. So a little easier can be, I'm not so used to this one because I don't do it so often, but it can be to bring those knees a little lower towards your elbows. And for that one, you have to find a place where you can hook your knees. There is kind of like a little place where they are going to stay, kind of like click in. And then from there, so you see how my knees are much lower than what I tried to do before, right? So they are much lower, they are coming towards my elbows. Then again, I'm drawing my belly up. I'm gazing forward, and from there I'm trying to shift my weight a little forward and gripping the mat with my fingertips and pressing into the base of my knuckles of the four fingers. And then from there, same idea. Maybe you lift one, maybe you go with the second, and you try that version instead. For me, that one is a little less usual, so my brain needs more adjustment. But that can be a very good way to fly what we call your pigeon, or to bring that crow a little less high if those knees don't go all the way up, okay? Then we come back, after you try it maybe a couple of times on that version, back to that squat. Good, and then slowly I'm going to try and sit and bring my legs in front for Navasana, drawing the lower back in, opening through the chest, squeeze the legs into one another, deep breath in. Good, and then slowly extend and come down. Draw that belly in until you come down onto your mat. Take a moment, releasing everything down. Let go, almost like a child's pose. Invite your whole body to release. Bring your right hand onto your belly, the left hand onto your heart or solar plexus. Soften the face and take a few breaths, noticing the pulses, the tingling, the throbbing, and the pace of your breath. 2 more cycles. With your exhale, become empty. Release it all. Then slowly releasing the arms to the sides. We are going to bend both knees. Bring the right foot on top of the left thigh. Bring your knees towards the chest. Thread your right arm inside the legs. And catch the left leg anywhere, maybe the hamstring, maybe the top of the leg. Bring the knees in. Try to level your right knee with the left one, pushing that right knee a little further out. One more breath. Good. Then slowly release. Cross that right leg a little bit more over to the left, so bringing that leg over the left one. Open your arms to the sides. Shift your hips to the right side and let both legs drop to the left. If you want, the right arm can come overhead, or you can just send it to the side. Stay there for a few breaths. Try to relax your shoulders. One last breath here. Then slowly come back. Beautiful. Let's take that right leg to the side. Reset your hips towards the center of the mat. Bring the left foot on top of your right thigh. Bring the legs towards the chest. Left arm inside the legs. Hug the knees in. And if you can, and it's available in your body, left knee moves a little bit away from the chest to come more in line with the right knee. Stay there for another 2 breaths. Good, and then you're going to cross that left leg over the right one as you're lying down, just making sure that you can see me. And then shift your hips a little bit to the left side this time, and let the legs drop to the right, arms out, or left arm over the head. Softening the skin in the face here. Dropping into that twist. Beautiful, just checking everyone is okay. Some of you I cannot see, but I see you're there. Beautiful. Okay, last breath. And then we slowly return with the legs. Unwrap the legs for a moment. Bring the soles of the feet together. Hold them with your hands. And just press the center of your heels towards one another, letting the knees move out. One last breath. Good, and then bring your knees towards one another and walk forward and back just a couple of times. And then we'll come up to a seat. And this time again, like we did when we were lying down just a second ago, put the soles of the feet together, the knees wide, the center of the heels pressing, and with your hands, hold your feet, lengthen the inner thighs, take a deep inhalation, sending the sternum up, and with the exhale, fold over the legs. Let the head go, let the upper back round. Just a few breaths. Good, then slowly returning. Bring your legs back towards each other. This time we are going to widen the feet again. They are a touch wider than your sitting bones. Press into the base of your toes, lift up with your spine, bring your arms in front, and draw the navel up towards your nose. So we are trying to be mostly, even though it's a challenge, towards the front of the sitting bones, okay? And from here, pressing into the feet, keep the chest lifting up. See if you can slowly come back down to your mat without dropping your whole body down. So try to control as much as you can to come all the way down. Release the arms, bring the feet a little closer if you need, and make your toes point out just a little bit. Bring the shoulder blades towards one another. Send the lumbars down towards your heels. Good. Again, we are going to use what we used in the beginning, firming the hips into one another. Pubic bone lifts up, ribs move down. And again, I'm moving my shoulder blades in, walking my fingertips towards my heels. You can use your elbows, press the mat, or hold the sides of your mat to lift up into the bridge pose. Once I lift into the bridge, I usually like to tuck my shoulder blades a little bit more into one another to help me open the chest. I again try to connect, hips in, glutes up, sacrum up, ribs towards my hips. And then if you want, you lace the fingers and you push the mat away, opening the chest, pressing into the inner and outer edges of your feet. One more breath, activating the glutes, the hips, the thighs. Then releasing the arms and slowly coming back. Good. We'll take a second version of the bridge pose today. If you choose to join me, you can also make the second version more relaxed if you want to add the block under the pelvis and just have a supported bridge pose, okay? In this one, I'm going to bring my feet a little closer. Same idea as before, shoulder blades towards each other, arms down. Feel the opening in the chest. Keep the pelvis down onto your mat. As you keep the pelvis down, lift your right leg up towards the ceiling. Nothing else for now. Then reset those shoulder blades into one another. If you want, you can grab again the mat or press through the palms. Keep the pelvis neutral, the hips moving into each other. Lift the glutes up. Push into that left foot, inner and outer. Try to keep the hips active and firm. One more breath. Then slowly release. Bring that right leg down. Take a deep breath in and exhale. And if you feel ready to go to the second side, let's set that up. Shoulder blades in, pelvis neutral, firming the hips in. Sacrum moves into your body, so we are activating those glutes to support the lower back. Push the mat or hold it. Lift the left leg. I still didn't lift my hips, right? So I'm staying first from the neutral position there. Draw the abdomen in, push the mat, and let's go. Firm the right big toe down, right inner heel down. Lift those hips a touch higher, then slowly release and bring it down. Take a deep breath in. Okay, last one. If you still have a little bit of air left, press through the feet. If you want to play with full wheel, you can also use the block, like I said, and just put it under the pelvis. Full wheel pose, hands behind the shoulders. I usually open them up a little bit to give myself space. Press into the inner and outer edges of your feet. For this one, you need to have a good bridge pose, okay? And the palms need to be grounded on your mat, sticky. And then from there, sending the sacrum in, coming like the bridge pose first, then into the head, and then up. Push the hands into your mat, opening the chest. Sacrum in, glutes up, same as the bridge pose. Push the inner and outer edges of your feet. And then slowly return. Okay, take a moment there if you were coming up with me. Widen your feet to the edges of your mat. Take your arms to the sides. Let both knees drop to the right. You can add, if you want and it feels okay, right foot on top of the left knee. Maybe chin to the left. Maybe you keep your head at the center. One more breath. Then take that right foot down to the side, bring both knees up. Both feet are to the edges of your mat, so they are wide. Let both knees drop to the left. Left foot on top of the right knee, if you are choosing to add that little bit extra. And then the right arm can go up towards the back of your room, chin to the right, or staying at the center. Stay there for another 2 breaths. Good, and then you'll slowly take that left foot off the right knee, bringing both knees back to center. Hug the knees into the chest. Swing gently from side to side. And if you want, a few options here. We did a lot of back bending at the end, okay? So a few options can be that you just take a happy baby, so you're holding the feet from the outside or inside, and you press them down so you feel the length of your spine again. Another one that can feel good after all of this work that we did in the end is to just cross one leg over the other and bring the knees towards your chest, catching your feet. You know, when we do that one, that we cross one leg and then we try to catch our feet. So you can try and bring the feet towards you, and that can also be a way to feel like we are resetting the lower back. So you do, if you're doing the leg cross, just do 2-3 breaths on one side, and then you switch to the other side. Beautiful. When you feel ready to return, or you're done with those stretches, if you have a wall and you like to finish your practice with the legs up for a cooling inversion, please do so. If you just want to come towards Shavasana, you can start moving towards supine. And like I said in the beginning, at the very end, I'll tell you when we are done with Shavasana. And if you want to stay and say hi at the very end, then stay with me after the gongs, okay? So let's come to rest using any of the props or support that may be beneficial for you to release. So in this corpse pose, we have the opportunity to one by one soften all the layers of our being. If you were in my classes when I was sharing about the different layers, what we call the koshas, we go from the outer to the inner. So this is the opportunity to first let go of the physical body, then slowly moving a little deeper into the energetic body or energetical aspect of our beings. Then slowly a little deeper into the thoughts, the emotions. So we empty everything to get closer to the essence. I was the type of person that held on to things too tight, unable to release my grip when it no longer felt right. And although it gave me blisters and my fingers would all ache, I always thought that holding on was worth the pain it takes. I used to think in losing things, I'd lose part of me too. That slowly I'd become someone my heart no longer knew. Then one day, something happened. I dropped what I had once held dear, but my soul became much lighter instead of filled with fear. And it taught my heart that some things aren't meant to last for long. They arrive to teach you lessons and then continue on. You don't have to cling to people who no longer make you smile or do something you've come to hate if it isn't worth your while. That sometimes the thing you're fighting for isn't worth the cost, and not everything you ever love is bound to be a loss. Take a deep inhalation through the nose. Big exhale. A moment to slowly return to your room, to your body, giving yourself the time you need to reanimate fingers, toes, hands, feet. Try to keep your face soft, your eyes relaxed. And bring tolerance and ease to your body as you move a little bit more and you make your way into your side and press up to a seat. As we find our final posture to close this journey together, we find length through the spine, ease in the shoulders and face, and the palms in gratitude to come and rest in front of the heart center. May this yoga practice stay with us to remind us of coming to ourselves, of being and sitting and acknowledging the things that show up so we can go through them and release the ones that are no longer needed to hold on to. In gratitude for this practice and to all of you for joining me today, we close with the Om sound, inhaling first. Big exhale, breathing in. Om. Namaste.